I'd like you to take a look at this picture. There are some signs and symbols that other people are missing when it comes to Charlie Kirk. And we're going to take a look at those in just a moment. This image does not look authentic to me. We are told that this is Charlie's sister and mom and dad. And I'd like you to take a good look at this photo in the day and age of cell phones, where people have hundreds, if not thousands of photos on their phone. Very high resolution, I might add, that can be easily texted to someone or emailed to someone. This is the best picture the media could find of this family. And it's the only picture that I've come across. There is a photo of his purported sister that some would say they just took Charlie's face and kind of did a little AI there. And apparently she's not really on social media, which is another one of those calling cards of my how to spot a psyop when there's not a large social media footprint. So this looks very strange. The collar is very fuzzy here on Charlie. That doesn't even really look like him. The teeth look different. I'm going to show another picture to you in a moment. And then the mother is completely, like, the face is in focus, but the rest of the image is completely out of focus, almost as if these faces were pasted on someone else. The same with Charlie. The face is in focus, but the rest is not. And with the father, same thing. The face is in focus and the rest is not. And I guess they're standing in front of a Christmas tree. The whole thing looks photoshopped. Why would they do that? I ask you, why is there no information, verifiable information, credible information about his family? So that's one thing that a lot of people just are glossing over when I raise these questions. Let's take a look here. We're just going to do a quick slideshow of a lot of Charlie's Masonic gestures. These first few come from probably one of his last, if not the last, podcast or appearance that he did with Erica on stage. And when I look at the videos, that's where I grab these screenshots, because people have said, Peggy, those gestures can be photoshopped in. And you're absolutely right. So what I'm about to share with you, these images all came from videos. And these are all Masonic gestures. I will have a video coming up for you probably tomorrow, maybe later today, as a matter of fact, of a tour, a guided tour inside a Masonic temple. And you can see how many signs and gestures they do. All right. It just goes on and on. Every single one of these. Now, this was at one of these turning point events. And I find it so strange that his bodyguard here is wearing an identical ring to Charlie's. I find that very odd. This is a Masonic pose that he does quite a bit. I'll give you the caveat and the disclaimer that I've probably done that pose. You've probably done that pose. Does that mean you are a Freemason? Well, for some people that stumbled across this channel, I guess I need to point out the fact that every single one of these gestures absolutely could be used without any significance. In other words, you're not signaling that you are have some kind of allegiance to a secret fraternity. You are doing that because you're trying to just gesture and make a point. I will grant you that. People with critical thinking skills know how to read between the lies, and they can detect patterns and frequency and determine that these are done to broadcast a certain significance. You can discard them if you will, but this channel is all about critical thinking and collecting clues and analyzing them and determining whether or not they're providing evidence. Now, I provide you with this Masonic hand to chin. And here is Greg Laurie, who, by the way, is being sued for allegations of child abuse in Romania. Speaking of Eric Kirk, and if you don't know that connection, I can do a video for you on that. Out of all the images that Greg Laurie's team could come up with for this quote, this is the one they came up with. It's identical to this, including the bent fingers. So it's pretty well known that many in church leadership, I'll put it that way, especially with Calvary chapels, have Masonic affiliations as well. And here, Greg Laurie is doing 2666. And of course, we know that is not only a Freemason hand symbol, but can also be interpreted as a satanic hand symbol as well. This one I think is really odd. Charlie has done this many times. In the video that I did about not the snake eyes. I've done so many videos on Charlie Kirk. I have a whole Charlie Kirk playlist. So please check that out if you're new to the channel or if you've missed any videos. I have a couple dozen probably or more. So in the video that I did about Erica Kirk performing in a music video, she also does this bent thumb. And I showed you how Elon Musk does the bent thumb and how that guy with the funny mustache in Germany does the bent thumb. This is a very difficult gesture to do. Charlie does it frequently. And here you'll see it. Oh, I thought I had another one for you. Maybe it's coming up, but it's very strange. And someone suggested that because the Masons have a secret handshake where they bend their thumb on top of the back of someone's hand. They don't just go web to web of the thumbs like shaking a hand normally, that this is sort of signaling almost like it is a secret handshake. I thought that was intriguing. Again, I'm a person who likes to dig deeper, so this may not be of interest to you. If not, you don't need to watch the video. But for those of you that want to see more, here's another one. When I show you the video of the behind the scenes of a fascinating guided tour of a Masonic temple, you're going to see the Grand Master himself, I believe it is, or well, he does admit to being a 33-degree Freemason. He does this kind of interlocking with his knuckles. And I've seen Charlie do it before on several videos. Here he is at one of the school events long before he had thousands of people coming, as we're told. I think that was a relatively recent turn of events. Speaking of turning point, here he's got his Oregon t-shirt on or sweatshirt. He always is talking about the Oregon Ducks. Erica said 2 days after the incident, when she was grinning ear to ear, she said, Charlie wanted me to tell you, go Ducks. Okay, when did Charlie tell you to say go Ducks? And why would you insert that into what should be a somber, reverent, solemn public appearance? So that is another indicator when things just seem unnatural or staged or created like that. So I started doing some digging. I've asked my Healthy Americans to help me as well. And apparently the duck symbol does have some occult meaning. I'm still digging into that, and I will bring that to you in greater detail. So if anyone knows any other connection with ducks, I would love to know. I only came up with Disney and Donald Duck, and there's probably something there as well. But here he's got the Oregon t-shirt. He's not from Oregon, but he always was talking about being a Ducks fan. That to me is significant. And I do believe there's some symbolism that he is indicating or signifying. It has nothing to do with the knuckles, but because we're looking at the Oregon t-shirt. So this is also a Freemasonry gesture. I don't know exactly what it means, but I have seen the Freemasons do it. Oh, here's the other thumb picture. So we had this one and we had this one. Very strange, very unnatural. This, I don't know if this is Masonic or just magic. Stick with me because in a couple of minutes, I'm going to show you evidence of turning points, resemblance of their logo to Egyptian magic. So I don't know what these individuals believe. It is very strange. This is a very well-known sort of casting a spell or mesmerizing people, giving them an induction into a hypnotic trance. So it just looks literally to me like somebody performing a magic show or a hypnotist trying to get people under their spell. I have seen, I think this does show up in the video of the Masonic Lodge or the Masonic Temple tour. And so we'll have to look for that as well. Here we go. I pointed this out in a video a couple of days ago. This is a book cover of one of Charlie's books, and it's called The College Scam. Now, I probably am aligned with that message. I don't think college is for everyone. It puts people in a lot of debt. They become slaves to the government. If they take government loans, it takes you out of being a productive worker for several years where you could actually be learning and apprenticing. And so I do believe that in many cases, college is not right for every person. Now, I did point this out yesterday. Again, here's the Masonic hand to the chin. And then he's also got the fingers pointing downward, which is reminiscent of the Baphomet. I showed a picture of the Baphomet on my video, and YouTube, I guess because it showed a drawing of the female chest, I'll put it that way, that YouTube indicated that it was only appropriate for adults and they would not let my viewers watch it. So we had to blur that out or take that out, I think. And now it's available for viewing. But something I missed that some of my very astute, savvy, sophisticated, healthy Americans, I've got the best audience on YouTube, they pointed out a couple more things. Do you see what I see? Take a look here. What is on that crate that he's sitting on? There are two things of note that I'm going to point out here. I think I have it here. All right, let's go to the big picture here. Freedom seeds. We're going to take a look at what that means. And here, there is a book upside down with the word freedom in nearly identical font to the t-shirt that he was wearing the date of the incident. And as you probably noticed in all of these previous video clips, Charlie wears dark clothing. He almost never wears anything light. This is a lighter shirt, but he's got a darker jacket. And on the day of the incident, he just happened to be wearing a pure white t-shirt with the word freedom written across it in black. Now, you may say, well, Peggy, there you go again. Of course, he's going to want to have a book called Freedom when he's talking about being free from the college scam. What caught my eye about this is that the book is upside down. Evil inverts. Magic inverts. This image is not random. This image probably took more than one person determining how they were going to style it, what he was going to wear. They probably took several photos before they came up with one that they liked for this book cover. You can bet that every single thing, down to his shoes and his socks and the number of books and the colors of those books, all were done intentionally. Does every single item here carry significance? I don't know. But these are the things that jumped out at me. And of course, there is a blurb here by Tucker Carlson, king of the red bracelets, the cackling hyena that could not keep a straight face when he was talking about Charlie Kirk. I covered that in my video 2 days ago. And also several days ago, I did an entire deep dive on Tucker Carlson's comments at the political rally masquerading as a memorial. Charlie Kirk has lived his own advice. He knew college was a scam. Read this and you'll know it too. Well, you know what, Tucker, what Charlie said is he didn't get into West Point. So he wanted to go to college. He just wasn't accepted into college, or so we're told. Let's take a look at the freedom seeds here, shall we? Oh, what a quinky dink. I didn't know this, but my astute healthy Americans pointed it out. Freedom seeds refers to bullets. How do you like them apples? He's sitting on a crate of freedom seeds. So I guess we are to assume that there's artillery in that crate. I was assuming that they were books that were in that crate and he was unpacking the books. So as you can see, there are lots of images here that are done intentionally. I can't make out, I think that says 1776 in green. The white letters say USA. Again, the USA is upside down. The freedom is upside down. I find all of that significant. And for those who can't put the pieces together yet, stay on board, study the videos. I've got hours of content for you to dig into if you would like to learn and increase your knowledge. We pointed this out, or I pointed this out the other day, but a couple of healthy Americans pointed out something that I missed. So just as a review, the lightning bolt also has a demonic symbolism to it, because when Lucifer was cast out from heaven as the fallen angel, my understanding is he came on a lightning bolt or was sent out with a lightning bolt. It's associated to the story. Also, the way that this logo is written, the American comeback with the A reaching down and the K reaching up, is also symbolic of the Baphomet, the as above, so below. In other words, satanic, demonic, and maybe even black magic. It ain't good, whatever it is. But what I missed, and what a Healthy American pointed out, is the lightning bolt also you could make out like 33 right here in the center. So I thought that was a very interesting insight. And I thank you all for your comments. And I can't do it alone, friends. I love you. I love when you share and I love you. And I love when you share the clues with me as well. Now, this is interesting. So there is a new and improved Turning Point logo. You see this other blue section here that completes the circle was just added after the political rally masquerading as the memorial. When Erica Kirk was announced as the CEO, she announced that herself 2 days after her husband, we are told, was shot, even though there was no wound that was associated with that kind of injury. There was no blood splatter. More than one person told me that blood doesn't drip out of a neck wound. It actually is like a geyser. And there was no blood splatter on the white screen or apparently on Charlie, or there was no blood trail as he was manhandled and carried off, if indeed that's what happened, or if he made his way out through a hidden tunnel. All of these are scenarios that have been put forth. But the fact is, there has been no bullet recovered, no credible evidence, I should say, of a bullet being recovered, no ballistics report, no medical report, no report of any burial site. And people will say, yes, Peggy, there was a funeral. No, it was a political rally. And I watched the whole dang thing. I took one for the team. So I watched the 5 hours of it. And I still have more coverage to bring for you on that because it's very eye-opening. So here, Charlie had a sponsor called Why Refi. And I don't begrudge anyone having sponsors. I have a longtime sponsor on my show as well. It's one way to help pay the bills because I don't have any other job. This is what I'm dedicated to 24/7, is helping you read between the lies and defend truth and freedom. So this Why Refi, interestingly, as Charlie would speak to people about not going to college, the Why Refi would be to refi, like refinance the student loans of the students. And so it was a money-making endeavor as well. That's why some of you asked me about that. And that's what I found. And I believe he was getting $12,000 a month. For someone with that number of followers, that's not a lot of money, I don't think, for him. But Larry Elder, if you know Larry Elder, I think is getting $100,000 a month from Why Refi. Boy, maybe I ought to get them as a sponsor because those are some big bucks here. So anyhow, all joking aside, the new logo here is a completed circle. And I did a little digging, and also thanks to some clues that some have sent me, but I found out that this is called the Ouroboros. This is what many people are getting the vibe of here. It definitely has a resemblance. And this is a snake or a dragon eating its own tail. Now, this is an important symbol in the Egyptian worship of the underworld. In other words, dark magic. I mean, all magic is dark. So the dark arts, and let's just say it's not Christian. And it's very important in these ancient Egyptian worship rituals and symbolism, and also in the Greek magic traditions. What's most important to me, what jumped out, is that it signifies death and rebirth. Now, I find this extraordinary. And of course, this looks to me, it's Greek to me. This looks like the Greek alphabet. And of course, Erica has some kind of branding And I don't mean social media branding. I mean like a tattoo that was branded on her hand. And I'm still trying to find a clearer picture of that because it looks like it is either a Greek letter, or I'm beginning to think that it has to do with more Nordic and Scandinavian magic. Because if you look at pictures of witches in Scandinavia, you might just see something that resembles Erica Kirk. The long hair, the long fingernails. You can think that this is a little outlandish, what I'm stating, but those things are used in casting spells, the multiple rings on her fingers and so forth. I'm compiling evidence, I'm doing my research, and if there is enough to warrant doing a video for you, let me know in a comment if you would like me to do a video on what I see of Erica casting spells. And she did this with school children when she was Miss Arizona, and it just looks unnatural and intentional. So that's one aspect of this. I do believe that there is some kind of magic, dark magic, and it could be their own type of worship. It's not like it's something we would know. They may have adopted the Masonic symbols for their own meaning. They may have taken different symbols from Scientology, as I showed you previously, and use that for their own reasons. I think that there are also connections to Hermeticism, which it seems like Trump is a fan of because he keeps talking about the Golden Dawn. So I'm doing a lot of research on that as well. I love to learn, and it helps me to put these pieces together. It helps me be empowered so that I don't feel that what we're being shown on the media is all that bad. It's like, no, I don't think these things happen like they are trying to traumatize us. So the fact that this symbol signifies death and rebirth brings me back to this first image. Some people have said that they believe Charlie could have been wearing a mask all this time. Now, again, this is not my premise, but some have emailed me that saying, Peggy, I don't even think he looks normal. It looks like his head is unusually large and his features are unusually close together. And for some people, they thought maybe he is wearing a mask now so that when he takes that off, he could be out in public and people wouldn't notice him. So I've also done some digging on the CIA and how they create masks and so forth. Let me know if you'd like me to share a video or two with you about that. And that could be the so-called rebirth. So that's what I've got for you, friends, on my Charlie Kirk daily coverage. And give me a little bit. I do want to, I think I'll do the deep dive on the Masonic Lodge for you tomorrow because I have a couple of comments I want to add. Give me a little bit, and I've got a video coming up for you about the Pfizer deal with Trump. So stay tuned. I've got a funny little video that I edited that will be at the end of that video. Give me a few minutes and I'll get that loaded for you. And I want to thank everybody for being on board. Remember, get my free Substack commentary, peggyhall.substack.com. Let's take a look. Whoops. Let's take a look at some of your comments here, friends. Yes. Some of you are making comments about videos that I've already made that I don't think you've seen, because I did point out that she was flipping people off with her middle finger. I pointed out the Masonic rings, and there's quite a bit there. So I'm grateful that you found my channel, and that's exactly what we do here is read between the lies, break down all of the signs and symbols. We improve our critical thinking skills, and in that way, we're not going to have the wool pulled over our eyes. So I'll take a look at your comments offline. Oh, wow. The chat was really flying by, everybody. Big shout out to the moderators. And then I look forward to seeing you in the very next broadcast.